Sleepers are back. It's June 1st, 2023. We haven't done anything in like 3-ish weeks. Good excuse for that. I'm a dad now. I have a beautiful baby daughter. It's awesome. I don't sleep much, but it's awesome. So this is our first attempt at recording anything since that has happened. I'm excited. A lot has happened in the college basketball world. We certainly have a ton to catch up on. The biggest thing being Carter's team, the Michigan State Spartans, are back.
That's true. But how dare you not give me my shine to shout out my niece? I want to shout out my niece, Merv. She's a beautiful baby girl. And I also want to shout out Greg and his wife, Mallory, who did an amazing job as well. She's perfect. The name is perfect. I call her Murph. I will be calling her Murph moving forward. Don't know if that's okay with the parents. I don't really care. She's my Murph. And Greg is father of the year early in the
Wow.
2023 running. I mean, he's been doing it all. He went on a run this morning. He texted me after my run. Let's go ahead and get on the call and let's record. I mean, guy's just doing it all. And he's doing it all in the face of adversity, which we'll touch on later because, his team's not doing as good as the team we're about to talk about, which is the Michigan State Spartans. I can't sugarcoat it, Gregory. I'm happy. Okay. I'm ecstatic.
Good.
You got some flack for saying that, there's no way all like three players come back. I don't think people realize a lot of people were saying the same thing. I was even saying the same thing. I thought there was no way in hell that we would get Tyson, AJ, and Jaden back. I thought it'd be a 2 of the 3 situation. I did not see this happening, even when the things unfolded as far as them entering the portal, like entering, window closing, like all that happening. I was still not very, I guess, optimistic as I should be about getting all 3 of these guys back. And the fact that Izzo has been able to pull this off, either that man sold his soul or he's just unreal. I mean, you got all these older coaches that have been buckling. They've been packing it up. They can't take the heat. They're heading to the CBS booth. They can't do it anymore. They just want to analyze shit. Izzo said, nah. Go ahead and give me a bourbon on the rocks, strong. I'm on the trail. I'm making this happen. And he made it happen. And now we have a certified top 5 preseason team in the country. That's not bad to say. And one of the, 5 to 10, 5 to 8 favorites to make it to the Final Four and cut down the nets next year. That's it. That is what it is. And it's a great place to be in. And I'm happy. And you should be happy for me.
I am very happy for you, genuinely. Yeah, I mean, preseason expectations, man. It can be a blessing. It can be a curse. It's been a couple of years since Michigan State has really had those, but they're warranted. They're going to be really, really good. I have a lot of different things I want to hit on in this segment about Michigan State, and they're all like wildly different elements of this topic. So I'm going to try and remember all of them, but I might forget some and I might like cut you off when you jump back in here, Cart. First of all, Izzo is a witch. That's my biggest takeaway from all of this. He's the only one that's defying these rules. I give him a ton of credit for it. I tweeted out that I give him a ton of credit for it. Coincidentally, all the people that want to clown me for just one tweet a couple months ago, don't ever like or acknowledge or respond to the tweets that I praise Tom Izzo a ton. They just tell me how much I hate Tom Izzo. He deserves all the credit in the world. I think he's really the only coach from the old guard that is going to win against the new era and the new way of doing things by not doing those things. It's absurd. It would have been absurd. Like, it was absurd last offseason when we talked about all the decisions he was making. Like, none of this really was a known quantity that it was going to work until it all of a sudden came together. And it's a mix of like retaining the players on the team that no other school can do that right now. No other school can keep all their guys every single year when the portal's there. Somehow Tom Izzo's doing it. And then he finally has a great high school class again. So I give him a ton of credit. He deserves a ton of credit. He's got to win the games. I think they're going to win a ton of games. Like, I have them preseason 4th in the country right now. Another element of this is that the Big Ten is back. So thank you, Tom Izzo. thank you, Michigan State basketball. You're doing your part that the Michigan Wolverines are not doing. Michigan State and Purdue are both going to be nasty next year. I think they're both absolute top 4 teams in the country. Like, you can have a personal preference on which one you like more. Michigan State's a lot deeper. Michigan State has like 11, 12 guys who would play on pretty much any team in the country, which is crazy. Purdue's got the National Player of the Year. And we're going to do a Purdue video as well. So I think both those teams are awesome. But yeah, Tom Izzo, like, I don't have one bad word to say about him for the first time ever, maybe. But just let that be known. Like, keep the receipts. If you're keeping score at home of all the wrong takes I've had and the hate in my heart for Tom Izzo, make sure you put the score down for this day, where I give him credit and say right now he's atop the mountain, because he is. And it's awesome for you. It's awesome for Michigan State basketball. And honestly, Carl, I think they're going to be really fun to watch. That's what I'm excited about. Like, people probably won't believe me when I say this. I love watching really good Michigan State basketball teams. Like, that Miles Bridges, Cassius Winston team is probably my second favorite college team I've ever seen in my life. So I get 30 games of a team I'm really looking forward to watch next year. That's exciting to me.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you touched on the Big Ten being better as a whole. There, even past, the Michigan States and Purdue's, and I know we're going to talk about Purdue a little bit later, but like, just to name a few teams, like Maryland got some pieces back. Indiana did some good things in the portal, even though their coach is 88 years old. Wisconsin, for all the, the flack that Wisconsin got, they're bringing back their, guys that are basically a lot older. And before Tyler Wall got injured, that was a pretty good Wisconsin team earlier in the year. I think he was hampered throughout the year, but they get back Hepburn. Sejan's going to take a step. So as a whole, I think the Big Ten is going to be better. If it was not for Michigan having a shitty offseason, we might be able to update to like large Big Ten, maybe not big, but large Big Ten, because I think the conference will be pretty damn good. So it's good to see. I think that also just the brand of, I don't know if the word is brand or the level of basketball will just be better to watch for Michigan State. Like, yes, it was great what, Tom was able to do with last year's team. That was a lot of fun. I'm still going to miss Joseph Jamal. I don't get to say that name much anymore, which really sucks. But, the athleticism that we're going to see on this team, the young guns, you got Jeremy Fears, you got Cone Carr, you got Xavier Booker, Norman. I mean, you got a lot of guys that bring a different element, and I think bring athleticism and a young exuberance to this team. And then you pair that with the fact that you're getting Tyson Walker back, AJ Hoggard, and Jaden Akins. So it's just a nice little place to be at. Now, with that said, everyone points out the positives. Center spot still stinks, okay? And it's probably going to stink moving forward, and we're going to have to get over that.
Yeah.
But hopefully, because of the talent around it, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. I mean, the center spot will be the weakness. It stunk last year. It might not stink this year. Like, it's not a known for sure that it's going to stink, because I think there's a chance that Xavier Booker ends up playing a lot of minutes at center, and Xavier Booker's really good. There's also a chance that one of the other centers takes big strides and looks like a totally different guy. I don't know who I'd bet on from that group. I think it's possible for Carson Cooper to do that. I think it's possible for Jackson Kohler to do that. He's putting the workout videos together out west right now. He's in his bag. I don't know, man. Like, I think there's paths here, whereas last year there wasn't a path. It was just like, we got 2 freshman centers that clearly aren't ready, and Mady Sissoko. There's no path there. Those guys stink. This year you got 4 options realistically that could all do something, and there's reason to believe all of them are better.
Small ball still in play too.
Small ball still in play, and like, I mean, Izzo was so committed to that down the stretch of the year. Like, you knew for the final 4 minutes of the game, you knew he was going small ball. Like, if that's just Xavier Booker instead of Joey Hauser this year, I really like that lineup. Even if it's like, it could be Cohen Carr in the dunker spot instead of Mady with Malik at the 4. Like, they have a lot of creative options they can use because they're so deep now. Would it be nicer to just get like a true starting center? Of course it would. But, at the very least, like, we're talking the difference between like a team we expect to win the Big Ten and be a Sweet 16 team versus like national title good. Last year it was bigger because it was like, is this team on the bubble? We don't know, right? Like now it's okay. Even if the centers stink, this team is going to be so good everywhere else that they're really, really good. But it brings me to a larger point, man. Like this is kind of big picture-y, and you can tell me I'm wrong and laugh in my face if you want to. But I have a realization here, and I think anyone who consumes college basketball or listens to our content or just is a fan of the sport would be wise to maybe step back and acknowledge something that I don't even think I've acknowledged before now. I don't think anybody talks about this, Cart. Really good coaches can have really horrible years and then like totally flip the script a year later. Like your team being dope and your team having a great offseason, especially in the portal era, can happen. And then 12 months later, like you're in hell and you're going to finish 12th in your conference. Like it's not always like a condemnation of a program to be like, this is going horrible, because look no further than Tom Izzo. How many conversations have you and I had in the last 48 months of like, is he done? Do we need to get a replacement in? He's not going to adjust in this era. And like, he was leaving scholarships open on teams that were not locks to make the NCAA tournament. And then obviously last year's team like was really good compared to what we thought they'd be, but now he's got all these recruits and there's all these momentum. Like it's fluid. It changes from year to year. So like, I just think in general, people would be wise to remember that kind of, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn from like a depressed Michigan fan right now, but I like, even looking at other teams in this conference, like Illinois was like 12 hours away from having a nuclear nightmare offseason, and then things flipped. Like it's very fluid in this era where teams are dope and everything's great, or teams are horrible and fire the coach. So like, I just think we should step back. Like as long as Tom Izzo's here, he's Tom Izzo. Michigan State's great. They're on an upswing right now. He's playing for banners next year. Like we can say that for the first time in a while, but that's just like an observation I've had, is like less than 12 months ago, we were still like speculating if Izzo was ever going to be the guy again. And here we are, and he's third in the country preseason.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was more so calling it like it is. I mean, you said it. I mean, he was leaving scholarships open. We were basically telling it like it is. I was more so not on the like, is Izzo like done? Like Izzo's wash type comment. I was more so on like I mean, you made a couple of tweets about it, a comment about it. Maybe like this era just it's too much for Izzo. Like he's been coaching so long. He's older. He's seen it all. He's done so much. At a certain point, these coaches are like, I can't keep up with this. This new era, this new portal, everything NIL. I just can't keep up with it. And honestly, I really don't blame coaches, because if I'm coaching for 30 years or 20 something years, I'm putting in this grind, and then I'm just getting cooked by pocketbooks. Like that's kind of tough. That's kind of a tough pill to swallow. Or I'm trying to get boosters and people to shell for NIL so I can get players, so I can make fans happy. It's a lot to work around and navigate. But I think maybe it's like, when people doubt Tom Izzo teams, that's usually when he has the best teams. Maybe that doubt from the fan base and from people around Tom Izzo, maybe that just motivated him to just do what he's done in these last 12 months. And even if it isn't, I don't care. However we got to this point, I love that we got to this point, because I can point to an episode maybe like a year and a half ago, something like that, in the NBA playoffs. And you told me, and I remember it vividly, that Tom Izzo is courtside at a Memphis Grizzlies game with a scholarship spot open. And the recruiting trail is heating up right now. And he's sitting courtside, taking pictures with Xavier Tillman and taking AJ Hoggard and Malik Hall to a game. Yeah. And now we're here.
Yeah. I mean, he defied all the odds, right? Which is why I'm singing his praises so loudly right now. Like, I don't think we were wrong to necessarily criticize him. Maybe we were wrong to criticize being at a playoff game. I was definitely wrong to do that. But I remember that episode was like, all his eggs are in the Xavier Booker basket. If he doesn't get Xavier Booker, like, this program is in trouble. And then he gets Xavier Booker. Like, that turned out to be a great decision. Everything is flipped in the positive way for Michigan State. I don't know how much we want to hit on it. And I get like people are victory lapping and dancing on my grave a little bit with it. But Card, I'm still shocked they got all three of those guards back.
I literally don't. I still
I'm
don't really
shocked.
understand.
It's a miracle. It's a modern miracle. And like it speaks to the mentality of the Michigan State program. It 100% speaks to how good Tom Izzo is at player retainment. And I don't say that with any underlying like shade thrown at him here. Like one of the most important things as a good college basketball coach is to keep your good players. Tom Izzo is incredible at that. He's one of the best in the sport. But just my final point on all that, like people should dance in my grave. That's fine. I'm glad people are happy. And oh, I got it wrong. Yay. First thing I've gotten wrong in 6 months. That said, Cart, I don't like the people who are responding to this news that they got Hoggard and Akins back with like, this was always the likely outcome. Why is anyone surprised by this? Here's my pushback on that. Of course, we're not surprised those guys aren't going in the draft. Where the fuck was AJ Hoggard going to go? I'm sorry. Like, we never thought those guys were going to leave for the NBA draft. They couldn't. They literally can't. There is no point. That's why we were so surprised in the first place. The simple fact that AJ Hoggard declared for the draft is hilarious and absurd. And was I wrong to speculate that something could have been up? Clearly, yeah. Like, but that was my conclusion. It's like, why on earth would a dude who has zero chance of getting drafted go through the draft and drag it out and be all ominous about it? And at the same time, Jaden Akins is out here still subtweeting the NBA like, oh, I'm a guard, as he goes back to the school that puts him in a spot where the NBA doesn't think he's a guard. I don't know, man. I know Tom Izzo's dope for this. I give him a ton of credit. State fans should be happy. But yeah, I just like the people who are like, oh, this was always the likely outcome. I can't believe you were ever surprised. Like the surprising part wasn't that they're back to MSU. The surprising part was that they ever declared for the draft in the first place, specific to AJ Hoggard.
Yeah, and the only thing that irked me about it is, well, just to echo the same point as you, is that there was like, it wasn't like us making things up. It wasn't us making things up that players weren't happy. It was a fact that ipso facto 1-3 of those players was not happy with their role and
you just drop an ipso facto.
Is that the right phrase?
I think so. I can't believe you dropped the ipso facto out of nowhere on me. Like
yeah,
we took 3 weeks off and you're ipso factoing me.
Sorry, this iced coffee's hitting, but it's literally a fact that this player was unhappy with their role to a certain extent. Now, I'm not saying it was unhappy, like I can't stand being here, but there was a little bit of doubt creeping in the mind. And in today's era, if there's any sort of doubt, coaches around the country are going to find out about that, and they're going to get that number, and they're going to slide in DMs. They're going to hit you up and be like, you're unhappy? That's crazy. Because we got to collect it. We got minutes. We got plays for you if you want it.
Yeah.
Like, let me know. Now, we were able to fight off those nasty creatures that were probably trying to do it.
Witchcraft.
Hey, little Schmaden's voodoo doll, and made it happen somehow.
Let me ask you this last couple of things for me. You're more plugged into the actual like news breakers on the Michigan State side than I am at this point because they all hate me. Was like down the stretch of this, my perception was that there was still some uncertainty. As much as now people want to say there never was. Like I have been given information in the past when Michigan State knows people are returning or whether there's commitments. Like I've been told, oh yeah, it's done. I was never told that for Jaden Akins or for AJ Hoggard. Were you? Like, wasn't there a little bit of we're not exactly sure even 24 hours before this or no?
With AJ, no. With AJ, it was we knew he was coming back. I don't think I ever had any sort of doubt with AJ coming back. It still was a little bit odd as far as Jaden because, obviously he's just like tweeting out like kind of cryptic things, like doing whatever. And then also like, why wait to the last day? Like, why wait to the 31st? Like it's that was a little bit odd to me that they had us literally waiting that whole time. It was just a little bit odd to me, but yeah, I usually like hear or know like if anything's gonna happen at least like a day or two before. This one I was literally just waiting. because I don't think anybody truly knew, or at least the person that I usually hear from or my source didn't say anything to me, or he didn't hear anything. So it was a little odd to that degree. But I was feeling pretty confident going into that day that they'd be coming back. If they didn't come back, it would send shockwaves, I think. Like not throughout this Michigan State, like others would have been across the country would have been shocked.
Yeah. I think we never I don't think we ever recorded any episode after this because we were off for the weeks of me having a child, basically. But the surprise to me was that they didn't enter the portal ever. It was not the surprise. Like, I'm not surprised that guys who aren't going to get drafted didn't declare for the draft. I'm just surprised neither of them ever even considered the portal. But hey, witchcraft, Tom Izzo, it is what it is. Ipso facto.
I want to put this angle out there. You want to know why they didn't? Because I think that if they did, they would want the option to come back. And there's no way.
Oh, really?
There's no way that Tom was going to let them come back.
I think he would. But if that's really how it played out, then I think like Izzo, again, he's a genius. Give him credit. Like he intimidated these guys into not even exploring the portal.
You think that Izzo would be okay with them exploring their options in the portal and then coming back?
I think he would have taken Akins back, even if Akins went in the portal. AJ, people are going to hate on me for it because trust me, I had a bunch of receipts yesterday from people saying I tried to run off AJ. I just said what I would do. I would have let AJ go. I still would have. I don't know. I don't know what would happen, but I don't know, man. It's got to feel good though. Is Ishbia a part of this? Like, are these dudes getting a bag to return?
Not really, to be honest. No.
Yeah, at least not a public facing one, right? Like,
yeah, I really don't think this was an NIL thing. I think it was just you kind of said it. Like, I don't want to disrespect these guys, but like, where's AJ Hoggard gonna go? Like,
yeah, no,
like you might as well come back to East Lansing and literally you said this, sell him on the dream. Like, come back, top 5 team. You're gonna be a starting guard. You're gonna be a starter on a top 5 team with a chance to cut nets down. Whoa, pause, Carter, and like be able to do something and hang a banner at Michigan State. Like, come back for that.
Tyson came back.
Woof, woof.
Tyson came back for the legacy. AJ came back for Rick's. Jaden came back to prove to NBA scouts that he's a guard on a team where he's a forward. So I can't wait to watch how this plays out. Hey, they're going to play a lot of 4-guard lineups. That's what I've been told. Jeremy Fears and Jaden Akins and Tyson Walker and AJ Hoggard together.
Hey, before we move on, before we end this episode, can I end it with one thing?
I'm scared, but yeah.
No, I got to address this. And I don't know what the Twitter account was, but I literally got sent to me the dumbest tweet I've ever seen in a while last night. There was a tweet, and there's 3 things that irked me about this tweet. 1, broke down Michigan State's roster as far as starters and bench. First mishap, added Jason Wittens on the bench. Jason Wittens will be working at United Shore Mortgage very shortly. Okay. Let's cut that. Let's cut that nonsense out. He's on the team. Okay. This man had Tyson Walker coming off the bench. Gregory. Tyson Walker coming off the bench. And one of the reasonings behind that was that Tyson Walker was good last year when he came off the bench. Tyson Walker started every single game in a Michigan State jersey that he played in last year. Let that be known. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like there's too many goods. Like, every Michigan State fan has like a different goodie bag right now. And like, some people are mad their goodie bag has like sour candy and not more sweet candy. Like, it's all candy. You all have a bunch of great things. Like, it might not be exactly what you want. Like, there's people out there who think Tyson Walker is not the star of this Michigan State team, which is crazy. There's people out there that think Xavier Booker is going to be Jaren Jackson immediately, which I think is kind of crazy. Like, but the point is you have 11, maybe 12 different things that could come true. And that's dope. I think you're the deepest team in the country. It's going to be fun, man. I'm honestly pretty excited because I think the whole time that we've done content seriously, Michigan State has not been this good. And so I think a lot of the people who would classify me as a pure hater are going to come around this year, because I don't plan on hating Michigan State much at all. I think that, like, there's nothing negative to say about this Michigan State team.
No, I mean, not
It's
really.
what it is. Like,
Yeah, it's a pretty good team.
we'll see what it is. Congrats. Go green, go white, Cart. We'll
Hey,
see what happens. Unscripted, who knows what the fate of that show will be. I did when I was getting roasted yesterday, I texted you that I'm opting out of Unscripted personally, but after sleeping on it, I think that would be me ducking smoke. And if there's one thing I don't do now that I'm a father, it's duck smoke. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens. Congrats to Michigan State. Congrats to Tom Izzo, the witch. And we'll see y'all soon.